one glass can. I think I would have died there. I have so much resistance. I won. Hit over half my health. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My RCT is too strong. Empowered P. Okay, so here's the build that I use in solo MV. Here's all the gear. The Vastic Glaive, it's actually very underrated. I don't think many people use this except for like on Impaler, but this thing, when you have maximum speed, when you proc it, it's like 1-8, you gain speed, damage, and damage reduction for a few turns. I would use Dragon Spear, but I don't proc Flame often enough to make use of it. At least so anyway. The Slime Buckler, so I can inflict weaken on block. I rarely block anyway. The Stellian Core is an obvious choice for more speed. The Dust Storm is purely for MV. It's not really a good gear. I just use it to negate Hexren, so you potentially don't get one shot by him. Excite Anklet is a standard for speed builds. Gives you a god speed skill that gives you more speed boost whenever you use it. It lasts for 3 turns, and it's really easy energy gain. Yardl's Wrath is the best gear in the game, so of course I gotta use that. Coyote Fingernail, it's a stat stacking utility. Gotta use that. Inferno, because I don't really like using Blast right now, because Inferno can deal dot damage, which is very useful for chipping them down, and you get a damage boost when you proc Inferno, so that's pretty good for me. And Bless got nerfed. Even though it's better, I don't like using it anymore. At least not on this build. It barely has multi-ticks, only Ice Shards. Ice Shards is your only like mass multi-hit move to proc stuff, and triple stab. So you'll be running those to proc your enchant or like Vastic Glaive. This build is T5 Astra, so I have the Edo is like a support move. We don't care about that. We have Utor, it's a healing move, so you basically don't need a Saint for any boss except MV. Because this build doesn't heal a lot of Utor unless you go like Nardana Leaf Variant. And what makes this RCT build so broken is that I got the rallying shot proficiency. Basically, I tested this thing, the devs completely fudged up the description. So basically this entire thing is wrong because it's actually 30% HP regen buff and it never expires. So devs forgot to say that. That's pretty big. I wonder why I didn't say that. And then the other path I went for solo MV was Cell Charge. This doesn't even work, so I don't know. Okay, and this Jolting Dodges is very good for getting buffs and all. So that's why I went that. So I guess, well, that's my MV. If you want to see the regen, I'll put a clip of the RCT regen on the screen. But we'll be moving on to our DPS variant because I don't really like using this unless it's for MV. Okay, so I stat reset. Hopefully my mic isn't as static anymore. I use Wicked Crown for this. For Seraphon, she's weak to darkness, that's why. It turns your physical attacks dark, but this slot is really flexible. You can use whatever you want, like Vainglorious Locket or whatever you want. And I stat reset, I put everything to speed. And this is what my stats look like. I also switched my armor to Rogue Hunter for DPS because that gives you the most speed. And for the tree, I swapped to 102. So I want Jolting Dodges for more speed buffs. This doesn't even work, I just got it just because. And Empowering Pierce is useful because in solo, you're not going to ever be able to use Overload. Or in MV, you're not going to be able to use Overload. If you are like playing with other players, you should go 1-1-1. I mean, or 0-1-2. I think 0-1-2 is better for like if you have more people with you that can stun the boss and help you set up for Overload and Empowered Pierce. So yeah, that's the DPS variant. Now I'll show you a clip on how to set up on Seraphon because this build will aura farm Seraphon. It's kind of outside of that. We'll have to wait until the balance patches to see how Lancer gets buffed, so yeah. Alright, so I'll show you a quick simple setup using Metrum's Graphs. You need that lost scroll called Metrum's Graphs. Just ask someone to move it for you. So when she Justice is, you can meditate. And then that'll count as one turn because her Justice is 5 turn CD, so you just need to set up before the 5 turns are up. So the first turn, you usually meditate. irregardless of if she summons first or uses Justice first. Then you can use Rallying Shout for buffs, or Focus Step. Either works. If she uses the minions on turn 1, you can start off with Rallying Shout if you get enough energy. So, Focus Step is the first thing after you meditate, after Justice. The second thing is that you want to Godspeed, right? So, after Godspeed, that'll be like 3 turns, so she'll use her ultimate in 2 turns, right? The turn before that you anticipate her ultimate, you want to use Metrum's Grasp. And because Godspeed lets you get more energy as you dodge shit, you'll have enough energy to nuke her with at least 1 move, right? So you'll dodge the minion, blah 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 blah. You'll have enough energy to nuke her, and then you use your ultimate nuke move, which is your Empowered Pierce. And because of the Wicked Crown that we're using, specifically to counter her, it's as if she's sundered because you do extra damage to her. So that's an easy like 2000 damage nuke, if I say so myself. And as I said, Lancer Aura farms Seraphon, but like, yeah. And after that you follow up with your Discharge. It's lower damage, but the CD is much lower, so you can spam it more often. And that run took about 4 minutes, I think. If I was rushing it, probably still been 4 minutes, but you know.